All right, welcome everybody to the Wednesday, November 5th, 2025 online meeting of the Community Preservation Committee. My name is Brian Adams. I'm the chair of the committee. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, the Community Preservation Committee is responsible for making recommendations to the Northampton City Council on how community preservation funds are to be spent in Northampton in 4 different categories: affordable housing, historic preservation, open space acquisition, and recreation. Tonight is our public comment session. We're going to be hearing from folks out there who are interested in commenting on any one of the 5 projects before us this round. That's the Mineral Hills South acquisition off of 66. The baseball scoreboard, Parks and Recreation Department has brought forward at Florence Fields. The Crafts Avenue Affordable Housing Project, the Valley CDC has brought forward. The pump track brought by the Northampton Cycling Club, and last, but certainly not least, the West Hampton Road Cottage brought to us by the Pioneer Valley Habitat for Humanity. Before we get to discussing or hearing from the public on these 5 projects, we have just a few quick items to attend to. The first is the thing we do at the beginning of every public meeting, which is to see if anyone out there has any general public comment. This is stuff to do not specifically addressing any of these 5 proposals before us this evening, but just something to do with the CPC, Community Preservation Committee in general. If that is you wanting to comment in a general way, please raise your hand. Sarah, are you seeing anybody?
I am not.
Okay, that's quick. Moving right along. Sarah sent us minutes earlier in the day, maybe yesterday, for the March 19th meeting. Is there a motion to approve those minutes? Someone from the committee, now is your chance to speak.
I'll move it.
Julia, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Martha. Any discussion on the minutes from March the 19th? Okay, in that case, Sarah, roll call vote for approval of the minutes.
Right. Lemmy,
Yes.
Chris Tate,
Yes.
Julia,
Yes.
Paul,
Abstain.
Devin,
Yes.
Martha,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and Brian.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Sarah, for getting those to us. Next up is the chair's report. Just a few quick items to go through. The first is congratulations to Sarah and all the folks in the Office of Planning and Sustainability for landing the land grant. This will help pay for the Mineral Hills South acquisition if in fact we choose to go ahead and fund that. $297,000 grant, one of only 5 in the state land grant. So it's very, very competitive this round. So hats off to Sarah and all the folks who worked on that. Thank you for that. Number 2 is wishing Chris Hellman well. He is a member of this committee. He is undergoing or has undergone some medical stuff and will be with us in a couple weeks, but we wish him a speedy recovery from his issues, and we'll miss him tonight. A warm welcome to all of the new city councilors in our election yesterday. Congratulations to the mayor, and hoping that we can work well, as we certainly have for the past, I want to say decades or something like that, with city council, knowing that we are the recommending body for the Community Preservation Act, that the city council is the one who actually is responsible for funding proposals that come through us. Let's see. Prospect Meadows, the affordable housing, the large affordable housing project on, I always want to say Bridge Road. I get Bridge Street and Bridge Road always mixed up. Their grand opening is November 17th at 11 o'clock. So those folks who wish to attend that, please do. 64 units, is that right, Sarah? 60 something units of affordable housing?
I would have to look to get the exact number, but it's around there.
It's 60.
It's
Thank you.
60.
Thank you.
Thank you. So 60 units of affordable housing in that wonderful project. If you haven't driven past it, some nice murals up on the wall and moving forward, which will be a wonderful addition to affordable housing in town. Let's see. We will most likely not be making recommendations in our meeting tonight. Instead, we will most likely be waiting for 2 weeks from tonight. That's Wednesday, November the 19th. Folks in the general public are always welcome to join us for any of our meetings, but that will most likely be the evening where we will be making decisions as to which of these projects to move forward, which of these 5 projects. Again, that's November the 19th, that's 7 o'clock here on Zoom. Okay, so moving right along, again, this is the evening where we have the public comments on these 5 different proposals. The committee has had a chance to read the proposals. We've had a chance to hear from the applicants. So they have made presentations to us at one of our meetings. And now is the time for us to listen to you folks in terms of how you feel about these projects. We'll go in no particular project order, but we will go in just terms of who is raising their digital hands there. If you haven't done this before, generally speaking, if you look in the bottom of your Zoom screen, there is either something that says raise hand or reactions or something. So if you can try to figure that out, and we'll call on people rather than just people shouting out. It's also a good idea to do your best to try to keep yourself muted until you're ready to speak and then unmute yourself. I think the most common thing that I say during these presentations is unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. So I'm sure most of you are able to do that. Our job is not to respond to what you say, to really not to even answer questions, but just to listen to your comments and keep those locked away in our own brains for our deliberations. So, with that
Brian,
being- yes,
this is Deb, and can I add one more? I'm noting
please.
there are 32 participants in the meeting tonight, so could we ask that people be aware that there are many people who are going to want to speak tonight?
Thank you, Devin. Yes. So being cognizant and respectful of that fact, but we certainly want to hear from all of you. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. Again, we have 5 different projects: Mineral Hills acquisition, the baseball scoreboard, the affordable housing on Crafts Ave, the Veterans Field pump track, and the West Hampton Pioneer Valley Habitat for Humanity. Just before we get going on that, it's important for you all to know that all of these projects come in at about $1.6 million if we were to fully fund all 5 of these projects. We have money available to us for this round, and this round means the fiscal year, a little over $1.9 million. That's both for the fall as well as the spring. So we make decisions sometimes not based on how wonderful the projects are, but based on the money that we have. We're able to bond sometimes for some of these projects, but just for you to know that there are fiscal constraints that we operate under. So let's begin. I'm going to call on what I see as your name, and it may not be your name, but if you will give us both your name as well as your address, and start off with that, that would be wonderful. Seth Brosnan.
Hi, Sheila Brosnan here from 671 Kennedy Road in Leeds with my husband Seth. First of all, thank you for doing this important and essential work in our community. I'm here to give a public comment on the pump track. I'm here to speak on behalf of Reconnect Western Mass in support of funding of the proposed pump track in our city. I help lead Reconnect Western Mass, a group of parents, teachers, and community members working together to change the norms around youth smartphones, social media, and digital tech, which includes promoting and enabling more unsupervised play and childhood independence. How does this relate to the pump track? The 2025 Prevention Needs Assessment Survey given to 8th, 10th, and 12th graders across Hampshire and Franklin counties and the North Quabbin region found that students report using social media several hours every day, and this is correlated with poor mental health outcomes. For each hour a child or teen uses social media, they increase a risk of the following rates: 14% higher risk of depression, 11% higher risk of anxiety, 11% higher risk of serious suicidal thoughts, and an 18% higher risk of planning suicide attempts. And this just addresses social media. It doesn't touch on video gaming, for example. We need kids to have opportunities to engage in real world offline. In short, we need third spaces like this pump track. And this is what kids want too. In an Atlantic article, What Kids Told Us About How to Get Them Off Their Phones, the article's authors summarized their findings in a Harris poll. When asked to pick their preferred way to connect with other kids, they overwhelmingly say they want unstructured play, such as shooting hoops or exploring their neighborhood, over participating in organized activities organized by adults, such as playing Little League or socializing online. Without real-world freedom, children don't get the chance to develop competence, confidence, and the ability to solve everyday problems. Indeed, independence and unsupervised play are associated with positive mental health outcomes. We know from our own county data, and more broadly, that online worlds are having the opposite effect on youth mental health and resilience. This echoes what I hear from local families all the time. We need third spaces where our kids can hang out, meet new people, be outdoors, move their bodies, and be independent. We need real-world spaces for all kids to gather. This pump track would be one such vital space. And as the Atlantic article says so succinctly, today's kids want to spend their childhood in the real world. Let's give it back to them. Thank you for considering this essential third space to promote youth well-being, the kids of this city and surrounding communities.
Great. Thank you so much. Carrie.
Hello, I'm Carrie LaBounty. I am at 16 Mountain Street in Florence. I'm currently a school committee member, and I'm also the president of the Northampton Athletic Booster Club. And I'm here on behalf of the Booster Club and myself to support the scoreboards for the rec department. The Florence fields are amazing, and they are used by many, many children. We see these fields as growing our future JV and varsity athletes. And it is a way that I think that our community shows that we invest in ourselves, our public spaces, our third spaces as well, where we pay attention to how things look, how things feel, how welcoming they are. And one of those things is, and it may seem, when you think of something, oh, it's a scoreboard, but it is, you can't go to a town field and not see a scoreboard. And we don't have them. And in fact, the Booster Club had to pay for the varsity scoreboard at the high school because we didn't have one. We paid for a mobile scoreboard for our lacrosse and our field hockey. So we understand that these kind of capital projects are hard in these budget times, but we feel like they're important. So we have invested our time and energy to help out our community. And I know the rec department is doing the same thing. They've also raised 1/3 of the funds, which shows their investment and willingness to commit. So we feel that it would be beneficial to add something simple like a scoreboard. And I know as a parent, baseball games can be long. And I know many times I have wrapped myself in a blanket and said, what inning is this? And who's winning at this point? And we know that the kids are always asking as a parent, what's the score? Who's winning? What's happening? And so it would be wonderful if we could have this for both sides. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate the work you do. This is really important. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Go Red Sox. Lori.
Thank you so much. I'm here wearing a couple of different hats. I have listed Historic Northampton, and I'll begin there because I'm speaking on behalf of the Mineral Hills Project, the Conservation Land Project. And wearing my Historic Northampton hat, I was hired by the city to do an ecological assessment and short history of that parcel. And just the place name, the Mineral Hills, references one of the several of the features that we found on this site. The area is close to the intersection now of Southampton, Easthampton, Westhampton, and Northampton, and part of that whole area called the Mineral Hills, which was really a lot of prospect mining and grand hopes for big finds, beginning really back in the 1600s when Robert Lyman first discovered lead ore in a seam, which is now in Southampton. But this property is very close to that. And when Sarah LaValle and I were out on the site, we found multiple prospect pits at that location. The other thing that's, my apologies. The other thing that's of interest to that, so on the history end, that's one piece. The other part, which I think Sarah probably very neatly did, not only in the application but in the grant that the city was just received, thanks to her efforts, is that it has multiple other benefits. It has this elaborate and existing trail network. It has has a beautiful viewpoint, multiple habitat types, a mixture of bedrock exposures, as well as some interesting surficial geology in different sites. There's small vernal pool areas, or areas that appear to function as vernal pools. And the final piece that I think makes this property so significant is that it already abuts existing conservation land. And if you look at this part of the city, it forms a natural piece in this jigsaw puzzle of protected land. Now, I live in Westhampton, so I'm also wearing that hat, and I'm on the Open Space and Recreation Committee. And this is just the kind of adjacent town, crosstown conservation efforts that we are really excited to support. And so I think wearing both of those hats in terms of the history of the site, as well as the potential recreational benefits and crosstown values that this site provides, I strongly encourage you to support funding the remaining piece of this piece of conservation land. Thank you so much, and thank you for all of your time and effort on these. All of them very interesting and worthwhile projects. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Rachel.
Hello. Thank you very much for your time and consideration. I'm Rachel Hagerstrom of 317 Kennedy Road in Leeds, and I'm here purely as a parent of two small boys to speak in favor of the pump track. My kids, I can't get them off their bikes most of the time, and they just circle around our little driveway up and down and up and down, looking for a little bit more adventure. One of my children has ADHD, and I know that like being on the bike is something that he finds very grounding and he loves. So anytime he has some time. He runs out the door to jump on his bike and just circle around our driveway. But I'd love to give my boys a place to go to meet their friends, to practice their skills a little bit more, and just have fun outdoors. And I think, that was evidenced by the cyclocross event that we had at Look Park over the weekend. They spent the entire day there. We only went for a short time, but we ended up spending the entire day where they're just circling around on their bikes, hanging out with their friends, practicing their skills, going through the courses over and over again. So I know how valuable to these little boys and to their friends a pump track would be, that they would want to spend almost every minute there, and they would give up Saturday morning cartoons to do so. So it would be invaluable to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Justin.
Hi, my name is Justin Janison. I'm at 3 Gleason Road in Northampton. I'm here to talk a little bit about the pump track and my my full support for it. I'm speaking as both a parent and as a physical education teacher in the schools of Northampton. So I work with a lot of youth, and I think, providing a town that can provide an opportunity for kids to go out and do something physical, not only will improve their physical health, but also their mental health and emotional health. And I think it's a great idea. And I think that it's kind of a no-brainer in the sense of a community coming together in big support of something like this. That's going to be a net gain for everybody in the community, because if we provide something that's positive for our youth to do, I think it, kind of keeps them out of a lot of the other trouble that they might get caught up in. And I think it's just a great opportunity for us to provide something really positive for our youth here. So I'm in full support of it. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Bill.
Thanks, Brian. My name is Bill Breitbart. I live at 37 Monroe Street, and I'm here to support Valley CDC's 27 Crafts Avenue project. I am retired from a 40-year career in the development and administration of affordable housing. I also should mention I'm a member of Valley CDC's real estate committee. And I've had an association with Valley CDC that goes back over probably most of those years that I've worked, both as a development consultant, as a board member, and now as a member of the real estate committee. And in the course of my work, I've worked on many projects similar to this in many ways. One of my specialties was supportive housing projects. And I had the pleasure of acting as a development consultant and as a reviewer for financing and many other roles in looking at projects that serve single, homeless, and other need populations. And I think I can say with some level of certainty that this is actually one of the best projects of its kind that I've ever seen, for a variety of reasons. I think we all realize the need for this type of housing in our city. We have a large population of people who need this kind of housing, both people who just need individuals who need a stable and permanent place to live, and people who are in need of housing and the ability to access the services that they need to support them and make them successful in their housing and in their lives. And in terms of that type of population, this project, first of all, has obviously an ideal location in the middle of the city, so that access to all the supports that the population needs are there, including transportation, access to social services, access to all the services needed in a community, banking, food, all of that, within walking distance. And this is critical for this type of a project to be a success. I've reviewed pretty carefully, as I know the committee has, all the design considerations for this project, and there's obviously not time to go into all the architectural considerations and the physical structure of the project. But having reviewed many of these projects and worked on a lot of them, I really think that this project has many benefits. The units are of a generous size. They're all visitable for people with disabilities. There are accessible units. There's good community space in terms of a community room and space for supportive staff, which is very important in this type of project. There's a half-time position at, for a person to support the population and link the population to services, which is a significant commitment in this type of project, half-time position in that type of supportive work. So it really has all the aspects of it from that perspective of a good project of this kind. I'm pretty amazed by the progress to date that Valley CDC made in bringing this project. It's almost ready to really begin, almost before it submitted its primary funding applications to the state. Very well along in thought, and I think that that's commendable. Just to jump to some major points, we have a strong network of providers of services in this community. But really to serve people who are in need of those services, in addition to people who just need supportive housing, a good stable housing, you really need to get people who are in need of services into housing and stabilize their housing environment, stabilize their long-term security, and then they can take advantage of the things that they need to make sure their tenancy is a success and to make sure that their lives are moving forward in the proper direction. I think that this project, with all its attributes, really is an indicator of that kind of ethic in putting together housing for people. I think Valley's track record, as many of you know, is impeccable and speaks for itself. The most similar project that Valley's done, I think, that I can think of, is the Sargent House on Bridge Road, which has many of the same aspects and many of the same objectives. And that's been a spectacular addition to the neighborhood that it's in. And I think this project will be an excellent addition to the downtown in our city and will serve probably one of our most important critical needs. So I hope the committee will continue its support, which has been so important to date, to get the project this far and award the requested amount, so this project can continue and move through financing and into construction. Thank you.
Thank you. Ariel?
Hello, my name's Ariel Gutron. I live at 37 Willow Street in Florence. I'm calling in support of the scoreboards at Florence Field. As the varsity, the new varsity baseball coach at Northampton High School, I think it's important to enhance the game experience for the players and the spectators. As it keeps everyone informed, it's easier to follow the action and stay engaged. And the players also benefit, from their focus and the intensity of the game. Another point would be, I think it builds community pride and professionalism. It just makes the field look more professional and organized in appearance. And it reflects the community and the importance of their support in local sports. And it's also a great opportunity for like sponsorship, fundraising, and encourage the local businesses to support youth sports. So I thank you for your time, and go Blue Devils.
Thank you. Dan?
Hi, my name's Dan Jubin. One of the owners of Theory Skate Shop in town. We're excited for the pump track. We think it's going to be great for the kids. It's going to bring some new excitement to the skate park area. The skate park currently is in need of some love. We could definitely use some beginner obstacles at the park, where everything there currently is, intermediate or expert. and it's really hard for kids to get going. And I think when the pump track's there, that's going to help. Kids are obviously going to be riding that, and then they're going to want to head over to the skate park, and there's not a lot there right now for beginners. So it's just wanted to kind of get that out there. I know Jeff has touched on it in the past, and we'd like to get some talks going with that in the future. And we're excited for the pump track, and thank you.
Thank you. Phoebe.
Hi, my name is Phoebe Gilbard, and I live at 242 South Street, Northampton. I'd like to voice my support for the Northampton Community Pump Track project. I've been a resident of the South Street neighborhood for 6 years now, and I also attended the Northampton Public Schools. I'm an avid cyclist and also a board member for the Northampton Cycling Club. I want to express my deep appreciation for the work that has been done to get this project on track between the envisioning and the design, and I would really love to see it get the funding it needs to continue moving forward. I started riding my bike to and from the high school from my hometown, Williamsburg, because I didn't have access to a car. And as a 15-year-old, I know this kind of place would have brought me so much joy. I would love to see not just young people, but people of all ages and skill levels get to share the joy of riding bikes, scooters, and skateboards at a place like the pump track that's accessible and connected by the bike path and that offers a safe, fun, and dynamic space where people can come together to recreate. I believe this is the kind of infrastructure that can make people of all ages feel excited to live here and feel invested in their future and the future of the city as a vibrant, welcoming place with recreational opportunities for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Garrett.
Hi there. I live at 55 Fairview Avenue, same neighborhood. I don't have a polished presentation, but I'd like to speak up for the Mineral Hills project. I can speak to some past history that I was just checking the date, but back in 1998, I was working with Valley Land Fund on protecting the farms and orchards on Park Hill Road at the kind of other middle end of the landscape that ends up at the Mineral Hills site. So it's nice to see that land protection effort continue. And I would also point out that while this is kind of the far southern end of Northampton, as Lori was pointing out, it's the four corners of the Hamptons, and I work mostly on land protection in East Hampton, and following down the north branch of the Manhattan River, eventually you reach Arcadia, and the Manhattan River ends up in the Oxbow. So, and if you look at the larger map, all the way from Mount Tom and the island in urban and suburban region, if you follow the Manhattan up, you end up in the hill towns. And as some of you probably know, there's been a lot of large-scale landscape protection happening up there. And this piece is kind of a keystone in a wildlife corridor that goes all the way from the Connecticut up into the hill towns. And there are critters that actually wander that whole route. So apart from the history and the recreational aspects, which are also very compelling, this is a great additional puzzle piece in a larger landscape protection project. So it benefits critters, people, and historical preservation too. Thank you.
Thank you. Constantine. Constantine, are you there? We'll let you wait for a moment. Rachel,
Sorry. Can you hear me?
sure. Yeah, Rachel.
Okay, sorry. I apologize. Sorry, Rachel. It took me a good few seconds to find my unmute button there. My name is Konstantin Voivodka. I live at 9 Beaver Brook Loop up in Leeds, part of Northampton. I am calling in support of the pump track. I think it is well, there's several reasons why this will be very beneficial to the city and to the community. One, that it is going to put more use into an underused area of the city. Another is that it is near downtown, so there will be a synergy of people running to get ice cream or a sandwich or something, and then back to the pump track, so it's close to amenities. A third is obviously the recreational opportunity it'll provide to kids and certainly some adults in the neighborhood or in the area. And finally, I'd like to emphasize that it isn't just, although this is being led by cyclists, it is also a track, a facility that can be used not just by the skating community, as someone already mentioned, but also this is the kind of facility that can be used by folks with accessibility challenges, folks that are wheelchair bound, can and do use these facilities. It's going to be a smoothly paved, asphalted type thing, and it is definitely open for folks in the handicap community to use as well. It's well supported and designed for that. So again, I just want to give another plug for the pump track, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Rachel.
Good evening. My name is Rachel Belanger. I live at 25 Wilson Ave. I'm enthusiastic about all the projects that have been proposed. Just wanted to especially express my support for the 27 Crafts Ave affordable housing development. I live about a block away. I walk by the site multiple times a day, often as I'm dashing to the bus in the morning. And I think it's really just an amazing location to live, and the access to transit and amenities is pretty unparalleled. And just overall, I think would be a great addition to my neighborhood. I want to note a clarification of sorts on what the rents are expected to be. In the application, it lists that the 20 apartments for households under 30% of area median income would have a rent of a little over $1,000 a month. But that's the amount that the owner would get, including operating subsidies, and it's not the amount that the tenant would pay. So when we look at the income limits, the maximum rent paid by those households would be in the ballpark of $600 to $700. And if their income is less, they pay even less because it would be calculated based on the income of the household. So I think the applicant may have already explained that in a previous meeting, but I just want to underscore it. I think it's worth repeating, just to emphasize how big of a gap this fills in our community. And there's very, very little other housing where somebody could rent a small apartment or a room at that rate. So I think it's really hitting a great need and would be a great addition. Thank you.
Thank you. Other folks, now's your chance. I know we have a number of folks who haven't spoken. Any other hands going up? Tom.
Thank you. I just want to speak in support of the pump track. I'm one of the Northampton Cycling Club's volunteers that runs youth programs. And I really look forward to the day that we have a dedicated facility where I can run regular youth programs with kids. We do this currently several times a week at different places throughout the community. But to have a facility like this would be really amazing. I think a lot of folks have already spoken to this, but when we get kids moving, a lot of magical, wonderful things happen in kids' lives. And the less, we say and the more we do with them in a facility like this where they can just move even when I'm not there, is a really good thing. So right now we run programs through the Northampton Rec Department and also independently as a club. We use Book Park, we use local trail systems in Northampton and East Hampton. But for the decades that I've been doing this now, we've never had a dedicated place to do it. So it would be wonderful if we did. Thank you.
Thank you. Matthew.
Hi, I'm Matthew Soicher. I live at 185 Spring Grove Ave. I co-run or manage the youth programs for the Northampton Cycling Club with Tom. You can see there's a lot of representatives here from NCC and supporters of the pump track. I'm a school adjustment counselor at Hampshire Regional over in West Hampton. And I know that there are lots and lots of sports opportunities for kids in Northampton. But as an adjustment counselor, I see a lot of kids with anxiety. And I know that opportunities for them to take healthy risks is combats anxiety and the opportunity to gain confidence in unstructured play and unstructured opportunities to explore their abilities is super important for all kids to fight anxiety and build their confidence. And so I'm excited about the pump track for that reason. I support what Tom said, as well as many of the other volunteers, and want to echo their voices. And really excited about the pump track for my own kids. They're really excited about it. The kids that I work with are really excited about it and ready to maintain it and take care of it and take ownership over it. And I think it'll build a lot of community pride amongst young people who are cyclists. I know many young people are already trying to build rogue pump tracks around the city, and this will provide them an opportunity to legitimize a pump track. So I appreciate you guys all for supporting this and being here tonight, and appreciate those on the committee having to make this decision with all these great proposals this evening. So thank you all.
Thank you. Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel Simmons. I live at 12 Russell Woodridge in Florence, also here for the pump track. Just wanted to share a couple quick things. One, mountain biking has been a really unexpected source of community for me in Northampton. My young daughter discovered mountain biking and made a lot of friends through the sport. However, the trails around can be a little intimidating to a girl, and having a pump track that would more easily onboard a kid, I think, makes it more likely that a girl's going to take it up as a sport. And I want to see as many girls playing sports as possible. I'm somebody who has volunteered with the rec department. I chair the board of the Girls Suburban Basketball League. So I think it's just been a really powerful self-esteem builder for my daughter, a big community builder for us as a family. And for me, as someone who took up mountain biking in my 40s, it's been really a wonderful source of, like I said, community, but also it's just a great recreational activity, and all the numbers point to it as being such an incredibly popular sport that really draws people in. So just wanted to share my support, and thanks for your time.
Thank you. Kurt.
Sorry, trying to get myself unmuted. Can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Hey, I'm Kurt Bonneman. I live at 81 Harlow Drive in Amherst. I'm calling in support of the pump track. We'll add a few things. Everybody said a lot of stuff I would say just to add to the conversation. We have 2 young kids, and I've built a pump track in our backyard, and I've been trying to get one built here in Amherst as well for our community. And this, would be not just a great thing for Northampton, all the things like Phoebe had mentioned about like having a space at that age to get out and recreate with friends, and all the things that Sheila had mentioned too, with, getting kids into that space, just kind of, unsupervised time with their friends and their community and connecting with folks. And we travel a lot, and we kind of tend to gear our travels around pump tracks and trail systems that are family friendly for our kids and all of us to ride together. And, I see this as being a really cool economic thing for not just Northampton, but this whole area. There's nothing like it close by. The closest thing we have is up in Keene. We travel up there. I know a lot of other families do as well. It's been pretty inspiring to see what they've done up there in Keene with it. And it's really become a community, and like it's being maintained by kids in the community and other people that are involved in organizing youth sports like Tom and Matt. And, I think that's really just such a huge thing to have that space where people can cross paths and cross pollinate and share ideas and connect. And it's also going to become a thing that people like myself from other places are traveling like, oh, hey, there's this Velo Solutions pump track in Northampton. Let's stop by there on our drive to Vermont next year. It's like it really is a thing that hits people's radars. So I think that'll be something that Northampton will see when this pump track comes to life. Thanks for your time and all the things you guys are doing for the city. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Jack.
Hey there. Thanks, Brian. Jack Broadbent. I live at 212 Chestnut Street in Florence, and I'm here to voice my support for the pump track project and mostly echo things that other folks have said. I moved to Northampton about 4 years ago, and I'm now thrilled to be raising a young daughter in such a wonderful community. And one of the things that drew me to this area and has really given me a lot of purpose and sense of belonging since I've lived here is the incredible opportunities we have for biking, mountain biking, road biking, gravel biking, cyclocross, leisure biking on the bike path. We have lots of great places for biking here. And as I'm sure you know from the folks who are helping to organize the Pump Track Project and all the folks you've heard from today, we have a really strong community of bike lovers and bike advocates here in town. And I think the city really has a tremendous opportunity to harness this energy from the biking community. The people I've met through biking are incredibly kind and welcoming, hardworking, and really care about the places that they ride. I think biking often goes hand in hand with stewardship. We really look after the places we ride. We treasure these places, and we want to continue to grow them and support them for the long term. And for those reasons, I think the city can really also benefit from helping to grow this community and provide spaces for people to gather, practice, get better, and discover a love for biking and for the community. Yeah, thanks for your time.
Thank you. Jess.
Hi, I'm Jessica Engebretson. I'm at 185 Spring Grove Ave. I'm a teacher at JFK, and I was talking about this with some of my students, and they were psyched. So I just want to give my support for the pump track, that is, for the pump track for the youth that want a free place to go and play. They want to play, they want to ride, they want to build their skills. So yeah, so as much as I would like to use it as well as an adult, kids would like that too. Thank you.
Thank you. Nate.
Hey, Nathan Soroto, 9 Kingsley Ave here in Northampton. I moved to the area in 2020. I have an 8-year-old now. Previous to Northampton, I lived in an area community that where luckily my house was on a bike path, which was very close to a pump track. The second that he could walk, he was on a Strider bike. It's amazing to see firsthand, the people that gather at pump tracks, from 2-year-olds to, young adults to, older folks getting their kicks in. All walks of life, cyclists, non-cyclists. And, to this day, one of the few things that I can get my kids, friends who are non-cyclists to join us in is pump tracks up at Keene, down at Powder Ridge in Connecticut. And it would be great to have something nearby. And inevitably, after many of these pump track sessions, we're going out to, eat at local restaurants, going to a store nearby. And the pump track and proposed location is a great location to bring folks in from other communities, like others have said, to help the economy here as well. So thanks.
Thank you. Gwen.
Hi, Gwen Heener, 169 Taylor Street in Granby. Another vote for the pump track. I'm a mom of an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. I have been to every skate park within a 1-hour drive to get my son, now 8, on his bike doing tricks, and including the Northampton one, which is the one we went to most often, and then we would go out to eat afterwards. Cycling for him is what makes him calm and happy and confident and brave. He's not a kid that you can take to a ball field and throw a ball. He won't shoot a basket. He won't play a team sport, but he will ride his bike all day. And I know many kids through the wonderful Northampton Cycling Club community who are similar. And to have a place that he could just go hang out all day, and he would be invaluable. Not ready to leave him at the pool at the Northampton skate park just yet. But really in support of this project. I think it would be wonderful. Thanks.
Thank you. Jeremy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jeremy Powers, and I live at 85 Glendale Road in Southampton. I've been here in the Valley since 2003, when I started calling Western Mass home. I went to Westfield State and took some classes over in Amherst. And I rented my first house with my friends on Linden Street in Northampton. And the reason that I was drawn to this area was because of the great cycling community. So I'm here to voice my support for the pump track, as many have. But I now have a family here, a 5-year-old daughter and my 8-year-old son. And like many others, we often make our way up to Keene, New Hampshire to go to the pump track. And one of the greatest memories that I have of riding with both of my children up there was them just laughing and wanting to be there all day, and the sheer joy that they pushed out, and they showed me, like, they really love being out on the pump track. And so having been here, having been a professional cyclist myself, and kind of traveling all over and seeing this joy that other children and families experience when they go to pump tracks, myself included now. I was just in Canada at a mountain bike World Cup, and they had basically children filled with Strider bikes. Teenagers were there pushing their limits on, like, going over jumps, and adults were kind of all sharing the pump track and just tearing it up, and like riding the park in a safe and healthy way and getting exercise and enjoying it. This one that I'm thinking of also had a playscape in the middle of it, and there were young kids that were doing what they were doing, and then everyone else was enjoying the pump track. So I just wanted to say that it's been something that, like many others, we seek out and we try to go to, and we're in different communities. And every time we go up to Keene, we're there having dinner, hanging out, going to different restaurants and enjoying ourselves and making a full day of it. And I assume that people from all over, from down in Connecticut and out in Boston and other areas, will make their way to Northampton to enjoy all the great restaurants and amenities that the area has to offer, including tons of great cycling, not just at the pump track. So voicing my support, great to hear from so many of you. And I know you have a lot of considerations to make. So grateful for all of the energy that has gone into all of these initiatives. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Other folks? No, number of folks have not spoken yet. Now is your chance. Anyone else? Sarah, are you seeing any hands out there?
Oh, yep, one more.
Okay. Charles.
Hi, I'm currently on the road. I hope you can hear me.
A little tough, but continue.
Thank you. I am hoping to voice support for the Northampton pump track. We have 3 boys who are growing up quickly and have grown up on bikes during the COVID pandemic. They have all truly loved the cycling community here, from the Trail Blasters to the junior cyclocross events at Look Park to attending the pro cyclocross racing at Look Park. We have traveled to Keene. We have traveled to northern Vermont for pump tracks and mountain biking. Having one of those facilities in our town would be fantastic. I know a lot of people have put a lot of effort into considering location and considering all the other aspects, economic and otherwise, that go into this. And being right next to the bike path, being right next to downtown seems tremendous. I think having a place where community can gather, folks of all ages can ride their bikes at their level, skill level, and enjoy a day together, an hour together, is a fantastic offering. And I would like to voice my full support for that. I thank you very much for listening and for all the efforts putting this project forward.
Thank you. Anybody else? Again, now is your chance. Doug?
Hi, I'm unmuting myself. Okay. I would just, my name is Doug Breismeister. I live at 18 Hayes Avenue. I'd just like to voice my support for the pump track. I really, there's not much more that I can add to what everyone else has said about it. The benefits of cycling for my family and for kids in general in the community, I see daily, and I just think it's a wonderful sport. And I think anything that I just this is a great idea. I'll add one thing to the idea that this is sort of a destination kind of potentially a destination sort of a thing, and that is that that my family and I were in the Alps in France, and we were riding a pump track there, and I showed a friend back here, and I really didn't know anything about these pump tracks. And we come back home, and I show, I think it was Jeremy. I showed him a picture, and he said, "Oh yeah, that's a Velo Solutions pump track." And I said, "They're amazing. It's an amazing thing." So for all the reasons that everyone else has mentioned, I think it would be a wonderful thing for both from you know from parents and kids to up to adults. And then also I can't emphasize enough what I think will be the positive impact on the community in terms of bringing people to Northampton. So that's my 2 cents in favor of the pump track. Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
I will suggest the committee do a field trip to the Alps to take a look at that pump track. I think that would
Excellent idea.
be worthy. Thumbs up from committee members on that one. Anybody else? Anyone else? Raise your hands. Sarah, do you see anybody?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
one
very
more.
good.
Ben?
Ben.
Yeah, obviously I'm a familiar face for the pump track project, but I just want to share a message from Willem Cooper, who helped create the pump track out in Cumberland, Rhode Island. It got built, I believe, last year, 2 years ago. He just had some words of support. We want more pump tracks everywhere. I don't have any specific data on usage to reference, but Mayor Mutter, the mayor of Cumberland, has gone on record saying that the pump track is the best thing to happen to the park where it's at in decades. On a typical afternoon, you will see 20 to 30 people there. During the food truck events, you can see up to 50 people there at a time. I've been in the park on a random Wednesday coaching and would estimate 50 plus people came out and went in the 5 hours I was there. If I'm honest, I wish I had pushed for more money and built a bigger track. Thanks a lot, Willem Cooper. Check.
Thank you. Jonathan. Jonathan, from your iPhone?
Yep, sorry. It's going to be the Brody family, not me. You've heard enough from me, but the crew wanted to chime in.
Yeah, sorry. My name's Paige Brody, live on William Street. And
I've really appreciated hearing all these other perspectives, and as a parent who has spent a lot of time hanging out with kids on bikes, one of the things that I think is so precious about something like a pump track is the community building aspect. I'm not much of a cyclist. I probably have no business on a pump track, even though it looks really fun. But I spend a lot of time there with my kids and have had a lot of really just incredible connections with other people and meeting other families, meeting other parents, meeting other delightful kids just by hanging out at these things. You know, I spent a lot of time going to other communities for their skate parks or their pump tracks and things like that. And so the idea of being able to have that here in Northampton, where we can foster more of those community interactions just in and around the pump track. You don't necessarily have to be a cyclist using the pump track to benefit from it, I guess is my point. Did you want to say something quickly?
Yeah,
This is Cole Brody.
I'm Cole. Also, I
Oh.
also enjoy riding bikes. Riding bikes is one of my favorite things to do when I have free time. Also with gymnastics, and a pump track would be so fun just to like be able to ask your friends just like, hey, you want to go outside and play on the pump track? And it's like, who could say no to that? Like I don't know anybody who would say no to that. And whoever would say no to that needs to get outside.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. So
All right. So that was it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Matthew.
Hi, I know I spoke already, but I just wanted to also mention, I remember at your last meeting, you asked why this money now for a pump track. As you can see, there's a ton of momentum and support for this pump track. People are excited. We've done a lot of work spreading the word through NCC and through our network of cycling friends, and with this momentum right now, it would be really great to get this project going. And so I appreciate you all for considering it for this funding cycle, and really considering it seriously for this funding cycle. So thank you all.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Anybody else? Sarah, see any hands up that I'm not?
Oh,
Doug, one more quick comment.
Yeah, sorry. Something I teach at Westfield State University, and a thing that I think about a lot lately is about kids not getting together outside. I think this has been touched on, so I'll just say that I'm concerned about kids and anxiety and them not getting together and physically, and them not getting together outside, them not socializing. So I think this is the pump track is another great way to facilitate that opportunity to facilitate that sort of growth and socialization. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Tara. Tara, can you unmute? Unmute.
Okay.
Unmute. There you
My
go.
9-year-olds are helping me unmute. I'm Tara Dumont at 104 Jackson Street. I work at Smith College, right next door to the location of the potential new pump track. And I apologize, we just rushed home from a soccer practice, but we all are enthusiastically in support of the pump track. I have 3 young boys, all grew up on bikes, super excited for this project. Everything that everyone said, we couldn't agree more. We're such big fans of this community. We travel north to Canada to go on grandma's pump track in a little town near Quebec City. We will take our bikes anywhere where there's fun to be had on bikes. And we would love to see it in our own town. Would you like to add something?
we always go to Turner's Falls, like that little bike park. And it's super fun just playing there, and having a pump track here is super fun, especially because I love BMX. and doing all my tricks there is super fun instead of just like in Vermont and Quebec.
So thank you all. We appreciate everyone's efforts. So we'd love to see this come to become a reality. That's all.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else? Sarah, do you see anyone?
I do not.
Okay, so going once, going twice. And seems like everybody who has spoken has had that chance. It's always so wonderful for our entire committee to hear such passionate support for projects, and people speaking kindly and compassionately and with a great deal of interest in some of the projects that come before us. I'm going to take it upon myself to speak for the committee and say that we will not get to discussing and recommending projects tonight. Unless I hear otherwise with vehement no's, I think we're going to defer our recommendation process until our next meeting, that is 2 weeks from tonight. That's Wednesday, November the 19th, where we will meet and discuss and hopefully get through our recommending process for these 5 projects. Once again, to remind folks listening, we are the recommending body. City Council is the group of folks who approve or do not approve of projects. In the past, they are very respectful of this process and of the work that this committee does. That's important to us, and I think important for you to hear as well. But again, we encourage you to join us on November the 19th, 2 weeks from today. That's Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Again on Zoom. If you or other people that you know want to pursue this with additional comments, we accept written comments that can be sent to the committee via Sarah. There's and you can see those related documents that come up. So if anyone you know that did not have a chance to speak tonight, or if you would like to reiterate what it is that you spoke about, please send those written comments on to the committee, and we'll make sure that we have a chance to look at those before we meet again in 2 weeks. Let's see. So we're moving right along to any other business not foreseen when the agenda was published. Looking to committee members for this one. Anything else out there, committee members?
I guess just to wrap it up, so what I can do to help facilitate discussion next time is to put together draft council orders for people to think about, just, assuming that the projects would be funded, but just for discussion purposes for people to consider. And also refer committee members to the decision guidelines that are posted on the CPC website. And is there anything else that anyone would like to help facilitate their thinking and decision-making process in advance of the next meeting that I could do?
Martha, your hand is up.
Yes, Sarah, I just wanted to have you confirm that the amount that was received or will be received by the state for the Mineral Hills acquisition is what is stated in the application.
It is, yeah. So it's 297, and I don't remember the dollar amount, but and change.
Okay. Great, thank you.
And Sarah, Debin here. I want to confirm that is in that has been factored into the 1.6 million.
Yes.
So if you look at, and I'll send out a revised financial report in advance of the next meeting. I am working on closing out some other projects and hopefully should have some additional funds that were not used to be able to return, so that the CPA can recommend those for additional projects. But if you look at the financial report, the Mineral Hill South acquisition amount that is listed there is the amount, assuming that the local acquisitions for natural diversity grant was funded. So it's the 320,300.
Yep, congratulations on that. And I don't want to take it up tonight, but I do want to plant the idea that I would be interested, Brian, in having a discussion of the small grant cap. So I just think we might want to consider opening that up a little bit and bringing in some more opportunities for small grants.
Great. So we'll see whether we have a chance to do that in our meeting in
No, we can pick a time when you want to do it. I just wanted people to be thinking about it.
And you're looking at raising that cap from 3,000 to something higher.
Don't have a magic number, just I think that it's constrictive in what it can cover.
Great. Thank you, Devin. Jeff?
Thanks. Just Sarah, remind us one more time. We've discussed before which projects are eligible for bonding and which are not.
Yeah, so
the next time.
Yeah, so the projects that would be available for bonding would be those that are city projects on city property that have a life longer than the CPA request that would be before it. So let's see, just looking at my report here. So the pump track would certainly be available for bonding because that's on a city park, as well as the Mineral Hills South acquisition. So those would be the two that would be able to be considered for bonding for this round.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Sarah before we adjourn? Any other business not foreseen when the agenda was published? Okay, thank you, committee members. Thank you, general public folks. Again, our next meeting is 2 weeks from tonight on November the 19th at 7 o'clock. Is there a motion to adjourn? Julie, a second. Jeff with a second. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful, super moon out there if the sky is cooperating. So take a look if I think it might be raining, but on that note, have a wonderful 2 weeks.
Great. Thank you all.